السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, and welcome to Warlord Britannia. As you can see, I got my small legion here, and a couple of scorpions already firing at this range. Let's try and get a good eye what they're shooting at. Just coming up on this village here should be... I say it should be easy, but honestly I'm still too early to really say my legion can handle it, so there's that. Let's try and tell them to move up and see. As you can see, I only got 3 infantry, just a couple of cavalry, archers, and the artillery, of course. These guys are a lot more powerful than you might think. And the storm cleared up rather quickly. I'm gonna get these guys ready in Testudo. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Starting to fire their arrows. So they're picking up targets. As you can see, the artillery is out of ammo. The archers are firing, and look at that. This is something I'd really like to see. They lose arrows as they fire. So let's move them up a bit further. I have an idea. I'm gonna get the cavalry to follow me. Gonna try and sort of bait out some of the enemy. Oh, would you look at that? Shooting arrows at us. Oh, that is one was close. Not much. Ooh, that is a lot of... If you can hear the sounds of them whizzing by. Now, it is actually a viable tactic to try and waste enemy archer ammo, and frankly, archers are pretty dangerous in this game. Oh, one is injured right in the foot. As you can see, the models are, I mean, at least the character models, then yeah, there's not much to see. But the armor, the details, oh, that is beautiful. I should show it to you a bit now, but later. Right now, I kind of have to do this for a bit. Come on. You know you wanna. Oh, they're approaching. Let's get them into battle formation. Alright, let's start running them down. That. Six. Especially if you want to hit the horses. And honestly, you can just go for anybody. Personally, I prefer to go for the horses or the archers. Oh, I see someone firing. Hello. Got you. I'm not dealing with the armor. Here, just take the spear. I lost 2 of them so far. This guy's dead. You're dead. That's 3 losses. Decimus. Did he happen to be the 10th by any chance? Numerius? No, I'm losing way too many. Can I not pull back, pull back, pull back? You guys don't have to advance further. There are still archers in there. I think I lost more than I really bargained for. Where are those shots still coming from? I hear those arrows whizzing. Oh, is that the convoy? That explains a lot. There's a... Look here, there's a convoy that wandered. That was supposed to go here into the village, so now they're sort of unintentionally reinforcing the settlement's defenses. It's been a massacre here. So my men are pretty bloody. Oh my god, right there. Still rolling. Oh, for God's sake. As you can see, the armor in the game is, at least tries to be realistic, but it's not exactly fun for the player experience. I'm gonna do something a bit abusive, you might say. I'm gonna plop down Outpost because there's no limit. Just gonna disband and immediately form back. And suddenly, they're all healed. And the ammo's filled again. Yeah. Outposts are not gonna be good. Did the convoy despawn? It looks like they did. That's actually pretty good for me. Well, I'm gonna have my men charge. Britannia. I love this game, but it is faulty. I would still recommend it, though. Nah, I'm gonna leave them deal with them. What? What's going on here? Do you know how, like, if you've seen cartoons, you know scenes where, like, they drop into a tank, a water tank full of, like, piranha fish? Yeah, this is what it feels like. Oh my god. Like, you just see a bunch of your own soldiers gang up on one guy, and it's getting so bloody. Come on, I know you guys can do it. It's not that hard. There's just more of them coming now. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna tell this man, stop the charge for that. Now that we got this village, we do have several options. I mean, we could just take the stuff and burn it down. And, you know, enslave the population while we're at it, get some gold and silver for it. And honestly, neither of these are good options. What we really want to do... So, as I was saying, what we really want to do is ignore the sounds in the background. Somebody's getting executed, if I had to guess. What we really want to do is tax and extract them. They're more useful to us alive rather than dead. You gotta be kidding me. Did like a convoy spawn right here while we were here? That has actually never happened to me before. Actually, it happened maybe once in my first playthrough. That was 40 hours. That explains why I'm suddenly losing more men than I bargained for. I gotta sort this out and... So, welcome to my home camp. I built this place by my hand. Not really, but yeah. You can build up your base, and you have to if you want to, of course, get more soldiers. It's only one of many resources you'll have to spend. As you can see, everybody's now, you know, just going around doing their thing. I'm actually going to get the archers to guard over here. And we'll get back to the village, see what the deal is with it. Soon I'll tell you what we're gonna plan for it. I kind of have to tell you a lot of other stuff now. While, you know, we have a moment of rest, so yeah. For starters, I'm gonna get off my funny-looking horse. He's a very good boy. He has been on many adventures with me, especially if you count, you know, my first playthrough. Let me just pick somebody to look at random. Who are you? Alright, you're Decimus Pedius. You're an officer of the 3rd Legionary Century. I can see that you're Tazariers. I can't pronounce that right. Judging by that helmet, And you know, if you look at everybody else in the background, they're pretty unique too. Not only that, but you can see by his armor, it's tier 3 plate armor. You can see how many days of service he has, and you know, how many kills he got too. I can see a whole little menu here. Shows you the armor and the cost, of course. Always start off with scale so you don't pay for anything. And you know what they start off as. In this case, a legionary. He's a legionary. He can get promoted to Desarius. And you can see the requirements being also how many days he's been serving in the Legion for, or kills acquired in action. And of course, an Optio. And then from there you can branch off Centurion, Primus Pilus, Camp Prefect, Signifier, Aquilifier, or Magnifier, and finally, and just Cornican. You know, the model applies not exactly to everybody. These are just the infantry. The archer is a little different. You can see just the Centurion, and because it's an auxiliary sentry, they can have an auxiliary Vexilifier instead. These are special ranks in this case. I should show you my Primus Pilus when I can. This guy's got 12 kills now. It's worth noting here that if you see my Primus Pilus here, Quintus Publicius or Publicius, I don't know. As you can see, the armor is going to grant some deflection, which basically means that there's a chance that that he won't take any damage from an attack. And you can see the bonus here. Because of his rank, he gets extra health damage, and I think luck is just another way of saying deflection. You can see the 9 sentries in total, 4 auxiliary infantry, which are just slightly stronger, but they don't have the same shields, and 2 different cavalry. These are Cohors Amicorum and the Quitus Legionis. The scout. These guys are pretty good at their jobs. And of course, the artillery, which can have 6 scorpions, the little ones that I've already shown at the start, but also the big one, ballistas. That just straight up launch rocks. Okay, the scorpions are just very big arrows. Ballistas, just straight up rocks. They're terrifying in action, and they're great, absolutely lovely. Let me show you here some more. This is a Signifier. As you can see, he has a very distinct appearance from everybody else. Just some basic infantry. Oh, look at this guy. This is the Optio. You can tell because of the plume. I'm not sure what this is called, but the way it's facing is usually a good indicator this is an Optio. And this other guy here. Yeah, this is the Optio of 2nd century. And I'm generally not sure what causes this difference. I know there's a difference between auxiliary and the legionaries, but I'm not sure why. I know these are 2 different centuries, but I'm not quite sure of that. The guy who's holding this is the Vexilifier. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading that correctly. Of the Aquitus, of the this cavalry. Come on, I'm not gonna force myself. Hello there. The engineer's just moving the ballista around. I don't know what he wants. Let's look at that. I think this is the Optio. Oh yeah, this is the Optio of the archers. Let me just... Congratulations on the promotion. How do you feel? Guys, do you think I should execute him? There's a lot of attention to detail when it comes to the armor and like the models and the... Generally, when it comes to the armor, I love the accuracy, man. It's really cool. And in a way, I guess it kind of works with the models if you look at the game in a more cartoony way. But I don't mind. I don't really worry much about the appearance here, because really the gameplay is what I'm here for. This is a case where I don't think the graphics would have probably improved much. They kind of tend to do that. Is that a knife? Oh. I don't think I ever noticed that before, honestly. They don't use that, but that sword they definitely do. On rare occasions. And if they had arms instead of stumps. I'm currently just... pushing up some troops, pushing them up the ranks, and I'm gonna have to replenish the losses. I think... Oh yeah, I have to do some assignments too. Yeah, there's a bit of bureaucracy and management involved here, but it's not much. Shouldn't be much. Something important I have to say is that preferably you want to fill out the officers of any unit before you can start transferring them to another. In this case, I'm going to take all these archers here since they do have experience, and I could use that experience to immediately promote them to the officer positions. But the problem is that the archer officers, they're not... they didn't do anything here. Unfortunately. Let me just... I'm going to transfer these guys over here. Okay. Well, just need... Not enough timber? What do you mean not enough timber? Hang on. Alright, this tree, I don't want to see it no more. What is wrong with you? I was gonna like wait for them to watch them rush the tree and you know break it down, but they didn't do that as I expected. I was expecting to be a lot more funnier, but okay, maybe my own ignorance here is funnier. I realized why. It's because of the storage. We were full with food. That's why they didn't. Oh, we have a supply shortage. Oh, you know what? That's what I should be talking about next. So, I guess I should probably give a proper and at least quick rundown of the camp menu here. As you can see what day of the week it is, though that's useless. You can see what month it is. So, you can estimate roughly how long you've been here. I think every time it starts maybe in July. I know it's definitely not based on your real life date, otherwise it would be saying 6th of August right about now. You can relocate the camp, which is probably not something you'll see in the video for now. But yeah, you can pretty much like pack up all of this in an instant and then place it down, and the game will actually remember your setup. So the only thing that is left for you to do is tell your, you know, soldiers to get to work, and they would build it up again. It's really, really cool. I generally don't know any game that sort of encourages having a nomadic home base like this. Because you're going to have to take the entirety of Britannia. There's a lot more. We're just still in the beginning, the lowlands. Unfortunately, I think the game... I would say by the time you're done with the lowlands, you basically have seen everything, to be honest. But yeah, beyond that, the second and third, you know, parts of the island. I mean, by then you'll probably have a full legion, and you'll be rich. You'll be drowning in resources, really. So yeah. In short, you can see some statistics here. You can pause and read them if you like. How many resources that you have in storage, and how many you get and consume. I am not getting enough supplies that I need, but I'm gonna solve that problem really quick. And as you can see, food supplies requirements. These do affect your soldiers, and in fact, as you can see, I do have a surplus and a shortage, which is perfect for showcasing this. If I look over here at the personnel section, you can see that the healing, fortitude, and fitness, which is has different effects. They're boosted because of the food surplus. On the other hand, you can see the armor maintenance, weapons maintenance, and ammunition debuffed due to the supply shortage. So that's pretty cool. And thankfully, you know, it's not like soldiers are going to start getting mad at you for not having enough food or shortage, but it does definitely weaken them in upcoming battles. So, what do I want to say? Britannia is a bit of a flawed game, definitely. Look, I genuinely love it, but it is flawed. It is flawed, and there are some issues, such as performance in the end game, in the late stages of the game, that actually can get pretty bad, and honestly, I cannot blame anybody who would look for a refund at that point. It's entirely reasonable. I do want to say that, as of recording this, Awaji, Warlord Awaji, is in the late stages of development. It's the sequel to Britannia, so if you enjoy the idea of Britannia, but you don't like some of the issues that you might hear about it, or some of its faults, then I would suggest at least looking into Awaji. We've basically been interrogating the developer in the Discord over it. Awaji is shaping up to be a much better game than Britannia in a lot of ways, while also respecting the time period that it is in. So, yeah, it's something to look forward to. Something really stupid that I want to show real quick is outposts. Trust me, these things only exist to be abused. I'm gonna place one down here, and it should register Kinmore as the nearest settlement. Let me see. Located near Kinmore, correct. There's a reason why I'm gonna call it Kinmore Boost. I'm gonna go back to the menu here, and I'm gonna use my second auxiliary sentry, and I'm going to assign this outpost as their home base. Cool. So they're gonna occupy this, and as you can see, Kinmore is now blue. That little circle under it's blue. What this means is that because there's an outpost, or even the home base, the home camp nearby, the unrest will be blocked and the production is going to be boosted. And just so you know, the outpost does have to be occupied. You need to at least have one unit stationed there. Now I can go back to do what I was saying earlier. Go here. Let's see. They're right under the map here, called Reoption Settlement. I'm going to get full taxation and full supplies here. That's gonna kick me all the way up to 60 unrest, which is barely under the threshold for revolts. It's going to really piss off the people here, but because I have an outpost nearby, they can't do anything about it. However, I want you to notice how now everybody else around is actually really pissed. And Mulcrean specifically might send raiding bans. Look at how much income I'm getting out of it, oh my god. We instantly solved the supplies issue. 35 gold, 735 silver, 140 food, 100 supplies. That is a lot more than I want, but that's gonna take me to new heights. I can, you know, fill out the missing parts of my legion with this, honestly. I could probably afford some better armor for a lot of my troops too. If you guys haven't noticed already, the player characters might be a little too overpowered. Here's another fun exploit for you, but as long as you haven't called your army, as long as you're out solo like this, you might actually... Oh, there it is. You will occasionally regenerate your javelins and your arrows. So, that's another thing to abuse. You know, I'm really glad that I upgraded to this laptop. Before then, I don't think I really had the space or the hardware to make these kinds of videos, especially a bit more long form ones. And on top of that, you know, these videos are a bit lazy, but hey, it's kind of something I wanted to do for a while, actually. The idea, I got the idea because, like, I joked with my friend when I was first playing Nuclear Option, like, I want to take an Ifrit out on a sortie, and then make a video where I voice over the sortie and over-explain every single thing that happens there. So this is kind of similar to that, but of course downplayed and a bit more dynamic, you know? Like, in a way, I like to imagine this series, another day in any game, as, like, it's like if you, when you pass by someone else and you see them playing something on their phone, on their computer, and then you ask, hey, what are you playing? And then they go off explaining it to you. It's something like that. I want these videos to be something like that. I don't intend to really showcase everything. I don't want to go out of my way to do that, but that's the general idea. For a game about conquering a whole island, I have not been showing a lot of that conquering so far. But at the same time, I mean, what you saw at the start of the video is basically that for the most part. Let me talk about some of what you see on the map right now. So, I already described Unrest to you, and you saw me fighting at Kinmore earlier. Let me show you here. That's a noble gathering. If we go kill all of these guys, then it lowers the unrest in the surrounding area. Convoys, as you can see here, they usually have some loot. Sometimes they cross paths with your army, so you might want to navigate around them. Or, you know, just face them head on if you want the loot. And here are the more interesting kind of people. Warbands. These are small armies, basically, that usually patrol around a certain area. And you will have to defeat all of them. I think there's about 5 in each area of the map. So there's 5 here in the lowlands, 5 in the midlands, and 5 in the highlands. If I actually look here, you can see 4 of them. I know you can see like 3 in a straight line, but there's one right under the Inviralochan? But yeah, you can see it right here, and there's one here all the way in the southeast. As you can see, all the settlement icons are the same, fortunately, but there's actually different types of settlements. As you can see, there's really tiny way stations, there's hamlets, farms, and of course villages and towns. And at the very end game, you will find forts. And again, this is another fault, but not fault. They're another flaw. They're really not unique. Like I said, you saw me at Kinmore. Trust me, you're gonna see that again and again and again. Nothing much it needs, just more enemies. It's just fewer settlements, just standard difficulty scaling. I would call it that. I may or may have not overspent a little too much silver on promoting soldiers, but I guess at least I have some of my officers filled out. These guys, they don't have actual arrows. A raining party for Malkery? Who would have thunk it? I am really hoping the microphone quality of this video just doesn't turn out really terribly, because frankly I'm not sure how to make it consistent, and I'm not really the kind of guy to, let's say, invest in a whole proper microphone setup and all that. Like, I've been using the same headset I've been using elsewhere without any problem. That's the wrong guy. But it seems to, I don't know, fluctuate depending on what it's attached to, of course. Like, this is the same headset I use on PlayStation. I'd use my old laptop, and every time it just comes out a little different due to either the software or the hardware. I don't know. I just hope my voice is still clear. You. theoretically, you can clear the entire game solo if you really wanted to, but at that point, I don't understand why you would play this game. I missed both of those javelins. Seriously? Did you see that? Again? That's a third. Fourth. 5. Missed. Yeah, so as you can see, it's not even the shields. I generally think it's like the armor. Yep, it's the armor. So, yeah, the deflection system, it's basically a percentage, a chance of just outright not dealing any damage. So, nice try. Got him. Took long enough. You know, the Pelum always just lands a bit to the right of the cursor. These guys are fully armored. I'm not even sure how to... Oh yeah. They got legs. But these guys are getting in my way. That is not the situation I want to be in. And yeah, this is, as you can see, they're popping in, and this is something else that I'm gonna complain about. But the thing is, when it even comes to the garrison of settlements, any damage you do is not remembered. You can't, so it's not like you can repeatedly raid a location and, you know, whittle them down, the enemy down slowly. You have to do it in one attack, because otherwise, anytime you go a bit out of range and they despawn, they're gonna respawn with every single one of them. This is a disaster. I think I should reload. I don't have any archers, I just have ballistas, and they don't really have the rate of fire that I need right now. At least my ballistas are trying to help me. So far I only got, what, 2 losses? Oh, that was a good kill. These guys. Look at that. I can kind of like kite them around if I really just wanted to and let the ballistas do the work. Sorry, not the ballistas, the scorpions. I don't have ballistas yet. This way, this way. Ooh, ooh, nice, nice. It's been starting to look like a little massacre here. I hear some fighting inside of the camp. Am I imagining things? I hope nobody dies. I get too attached to my soldiers. I still remember Colonel Boltos Aim, my skirmisher from XCOM 2. He died during a rescue mission. I also still remember one of my colonists from RimWorld, Odile Cook. He was one of the original 3. He basically carried the whole colony on his back. And he died to like a single arrow from a random tribal raider. I never played either game since then. Finally. We are fine. We're in the clear. We lost maybe 1 assistant and one legionary, but that was not a problem. There's kind of a bad thing about going to this battle. I don't have archers. But I do have artillery, which is arguably more powerful than archers. But still, I, much prefer if I had my archers. And, I got my army on the march. The thing is, I still have to wait for the artillery to catch up. As you can see, because it's not here. Gotta love how they're all lined up in formation, too. It's great. You can turn it off. You can turn off the highlights to see. It looks really awesome with a full legion too. I should show you that a bit later. It's a small warband at only 40. I think it's just because it's the first warband you'll likely encounter in the game. But in the late game, they get as big as 175. But the gameplay doesn't really change. Just because they got bigger, they don't really change. عليكم to the northwest like this. Yeah. There they are. And slowly advance. I just want to get in range for the ballistas and ballista and scorpions to start firing. There it is. I'm going to take the cavalry with me. A few of us try and disrupt them a bit. I think their archers are going to be here, yep. Right in the back lines. Let's go. Come on, we got this. Shouldn't be that hard. This guy, he's got a hat on. Why he's got a bigger horse than me? Oh, he's dead now. Take out this horse. Oh no, we gotta protect the scorpion crews. Oh, nice. Oh god, where are your legs? I absolutely massacred him. Why are some of you guys still attacking? In any case, that was a good fight. Good fight as in very one-sided. That is quite the time for sunrise, oh my god. That is one way to celebrate our small victory here.